Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. JS Dwayne here. Today's date is November the 28th, 2019. Now I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody when it comes to my family, my friends, my loved ones, acquaintances, even, YouTubers, especially who, makes videos every single day. I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I just want to say that I'm very thankful to be in this earth. We don't know how long we have on this earth, but I'm just very thankful to be here, and that's that. So I just wanted to come here today, to talk about my Thanksgiving memories because, like, ever since, I lost my mother 10 years ago, like, Thanksgiving haven't really been the same for me. My mom really cooked some bomb food, some very good turkey. She made gizzard gravy, macaroni and cheese, stuffing, collard greens, yams, biscuits, soft rolls, I have to say apple pie, sweet potato pie. It was just so hard to name so many different foods, on this video, but, I had so many memories, when it comes to Thanksgiving food. It was so delicious, and, I had a good time, especially with my family. And when I was a kid, I wasn't really like a stuffing fan. Like, I couldn't stand the taste of stuffing, and my mom made her own stuffing out of cornbread and celery and onions and seasonings and broth, I don't know what else she put in the stuffing, but I just couldn't really stand the taste of stuffing, when I was a child. But as an adult, I like it now. But, nothing comes best when it comes to my mom's homemade stuffing. And, like, when I lost her back then, like, it's just not the same anymore. Like, the Gizzard Gravy brings, a lot of memories, in my life, as a child. And it was so tasty, It's just so much, to reminisce about. And, like, I remember that time when my mom, myself, her grandson, and I don't know if my little sister was around too much, but she, we came down, to downstate New York, from upstate, from Syracuse, and we went down to White Plains, New York, which is not that far from the Bronx and Yonkers and Scarsdale, Hartsdale area. And I remember, we went there, because my older sister, Shelly, she used to live there at one time in her life. She used to live in White Plains. And I like the town myself, but it's so expensive and, high rent and high apartments and stuff like that. Like, you gotta have money to live up in White Plains area. But my sister had a job, and so did my brother-in-law, who she married, when I was 11 years old in the 90s, way before my nieces and nephews even came into this world. I remember her living down there during the early 2000s and the mid 2000s. And I just remember, going down there with my mother and having fun, spending time with family. And, I have to say that, I actually loved that town, to be brutally honest with you. I really did. And I remember, visiting that Thanksgiving day. I don't know if it's 2006. It was probably 2006 when I went down there. I think it was 2006 when I went down to White Plains area. I think that's the last time I stepped foot in that town. But I hope to visit, one day. I don't know if I want to live there or not. We'll see. I'm not telling where I'm going to live, in the next year or so. It's nobody's concern. But I want to put that out in the forefront. But it was just, a Thanksgiving memory that I remember. My mom mixing, not mixing, but making, gizzard gravy. And you had to boil down the gizzards, down and down. And I don't know how she did it. I probably had to look it up on YouTube or look for recipes, from certain websites. But it was a very a Thanksgiving memory that I remembered, and I brought this to my father's attention one time. Like, sometimes when I tell him, about the whole gizzard gravy recipe, my father always try to make fun of the situation. Like, he jokingly does it. Like at first, I thought it was so annoying him doing that, but I had it. He never had it before because he fried gizzards, and I had gizzard gravy, and with gizzard gravy, it was so delicious, and it tastes like regular gravy. Put it on mashed potatoes and stuff. So like he don't know what he be missing, but he be poking fun at me towards it, but he like, oh, little son, you like gizzard gravy. Like, come on, Dad, you never tried it before. You can't come around here and make fun of somebody but never tried it before. But he did it in a more playful manner, not in a jerk of a manner. He was playfully saying it to me. But looking at it now, it's a little funny. Like I was 17 when I told my father about the whole gizzard gravy situation. I hope that one day he would definitely try it. But I haven't seen him in about 5 years, so I can't really call him and tell him, oh, you need to make this. Like I haven't seen him so long. But my mom made some very good Thanksgiving food, and like I remember the first time I had chitlins, like I didn't like it. Like my mother's aunt made chitlins that one Thanksgiving. This is when I was about 8 or 9 years old. This was in the mid to late 90s. Like when she came from Baltimore. Like my aunt, she died when I was 16 years old, and I never got to say goodbye to her. And I was sad, because I never got to say goodbye. And me and my sister and my older sister, we was stuck in White Plains, because the funeral was in South Carolina, where my mother is from. So we was stuck in White Plains, where my sister lived at that time. But she made chitlins, and I didn't like the taste of them. It was so disgusting. It was just, I think it was just something that I was just not really used to, at that time. And I haven't touched, chitlins, as a child, because chitlins is pig intestines. They clean them, and they use it, for Black American soul food delicacies. Do I eat it? Not really, but there's some people that like chitlins. Of course, there's some, black individuals that likes them. Some people like them flavored with vinegar. Some people like it with something else or lemon juice. It depends, on the taste. But I don't like it, so I can't really fathom about the situation. But that's a memory that I remember, through my Thanksgiving throughout the years. And I haven't really eat it no more. I don't really think about it. I just don't like the taste, and I don't want to ever taste, chitlins in that type of manner ever in my life again. So, but my mother's aunt, she made it, and she was my. I have to say that my aunt, she was really funny. She's my grand aunt actually, but she is a very funny character. She doesn't play around when it comes to children, but she was a very nice woman, and she stood up for what she believed in. And I was 16 when she passed away, and I mentioned that I never got to say goodbye to her, and that's probably the saddest memory that I have to say that I remembered, because she died, you know, that August. So I had her in my mind, and like the last time I saw her, I was about 14. So that was how many? Well, nearly 18 years ago. But that was the memory that I had, from my grand aunt about the whole chilling situation, and she can make them, but I didn't like the taste nor the smell. My mom can't eat them, but not us. We only tried them once, and I didn't like them, so and that's that. But the chicken was great. Not the chicken, the turkey that was delicious. The cranberry juice sauce, not the cranberry juice, but the sauce. Well, that was delicious, and I think my mom didn't give me the cranberry sauce with the stuffing because I feel like those two go together. But I just didn't like the taste of it, back then. But I like it now, and stuff like that, and love the macaroni and cheese, the green beans. My mom throws it down in the kitchen, you know what I mean? She throws it down, and like I miss it, and even though I eat other people's Thanksgiving dinner or feast and so forth, but it's not like my home. It's not like my mother's. Your parents, food. Excuse me. But I actually feel that, my mother's Thanksgiving food was delicious. I can't really say that for anybody else, but I enjoyed it. And especially me being, Black American, you know, you know, you know, it has a lot of soul food influences. And I enjoyed it because I think, I don't like eating everybody's turkey because I feel like somebody's, turkey is like kind of like dry and so hard to digest and it hurts your throat. And sometimes I had to drink water or Kool-Aid or juice or something to chew, so that the food will actually go down through your throat and digest. But I like fried turkey. If you ask me, I would love to do fried turkey next year. Like I be seeing it, on Facebook, especially on YouTube. I would love to try me some fried turkey. And I think the first time I had fried turkey, I was about 14 years old, and I loved it. It was at my mother's church in a town called Camillus, outside of Fairmount in Onondaga County. I had it, and it was so delicious, and I would love to, make it myself. But I prefer to season it 2 or 3 days prior before frying it, and you have to get the big pot and the compressor before you get to fry the big turkey and hook it in because you just can't drop the turkey the seasoned turkey in here. Like you just can't do that because you will get burned with that peanut oil. So just be very cautious and be very careful. But that's what I would love to do in the near future, especially next year, because I think you can't do that in the house. You have to do that outside. You had to do it outside. To get the big fryer and the compressor that the fryer comes in because it's a big pot and the compressor which is under the fryer, the pot fryer itself, and then you have to use peanut oil for the fried turkey, so it'd be fried in. And I love the taste, I love the crispiness, and it's just so delicious. It was just something that I'm so used to, and I haven't had fried turkey in so long, but I would love to try something different from conventional, traditional, not conventional, traditional turkey. It would be something a little different. I haven't had it in so long, so please let it be the time. Please let it be the time. I'm ready for fried turkey because traditional turkey is made in the oven. So, but in Christmas, I probably want a turkey too or a ham. I don't care. I eat whatever. But that's the memory that I remember, and I had a very good time. Every Thanksgiving. Like I don't remember every Thanksgiving, but I had a good time, and I had the time to spend time with my family and my loved ones and the people that I care about the most on my mother's side. Like I don't really be around my father's family like that at all. When it comes to Thanksgiving, like I don't barely be around them, but I just be around my friends. My friends is like my family. People that I care about, and the people that I have a lot in common with. Most of my family is down south on my mother's line. I'm the only one that lives up in New York State, besides my mother's ex-husband, but he's not really family. But I'm the only one that lives up in New York, and I'm content. But other than that, I'm very content. I'm not complaining about my Thanksgiving memories. I have to say, throughout the last 10 years, I remember every Thanksgiving because it's been with my friends, and their Thanksgiving food is not the best, but I can eat and be appreciative. At least I have something in my stomach, and say thanks because earlier I was at my female friend's house, earlier, having Thanksgiving dinner and enjoying her company and so forth. Me going over at her house, earlier, and I just got back, about an hour or two ago. So I thought about recording a Thanksgiving memory video about my childhood memories, regarding Thanksgiving, and I had fun and I had a good time, and now I'm back. So that was on my mind and within my conscious and so forth. So I hope that everybody have a very similar Thanksgiving like I did. I've been around for I think 31 Thanksgiving so far, and I think probably 27 or 28 that I remember from the drop of my mind. so far. So I think that's it. I think from the top of my mind, I think 28 or 29, not 27, but 20. I think 28 or 29 Thanksgivings that I remember. But I remember, the other 12 because I was an adult during those 12 Thanksgivings. So, well, I'm gonna cut it short. I just wanted to share my memories about Thanksgiving. During my past and my childhood. As I mentioned, I had fun. I was in downstate New York. You know, celebrating Thanksgiving with my mother and the family and so forth. And now I don't have my mother anymore, so it's just a little different. And my older sister, have her family when it comes to Thanksgiving, and I don't really ask her too much. When it comes to her family, when it comes to Thanksgiving. But I'm pretty sure they have a very traditional Thanksgiving, just like how our mother had her Thanksgiving. So, and that's that. So, thank you guys for hearing me. Thank you for enjoying my video. And thanks for supporting me like always. Peace and love to everybody. And you guys have a very good holiday. All right, good day, people.